one of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Golf Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie 8, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seed, the burgundy, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up should do me, along with the ticket casher, Carver High, the ultimate ticket casher. Wait till you see the bevy of tickets he cashed over the weekend. It must be because of the back-to-back birthdays, the Sunday Carver High special. But on Friday and Saturday, he went off. Then on Sunday, he went off again, along with Frank the Tank and Luke, I am your father at C2C on a Misery Monday. And it is Uncle Futrelli's birthday bash today on this very show as I hit 59. There was an over-under of 59.
Oh.
Are you serious?
You got your band. Look at that.
I need to tell you. When I had my heart explode on November 17th and had open heart surgery, the doctor said I was, quote, 30 minutes to the morgue, end quote. But no, Ferrall with a comeback all the way to the July 29 birthday, turning 59. Many thought the under would have hit, but we go over the rainbow today with Carver High. On the show, Gabe Morency, a double shot with Sports Rager coming up from Vancouver. Plus, this very hour, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News, Fox Sports, and Big Ten Network. He's everywhere. Coach Young today, James Young talking rack because we're watching USA and Japan. They have tipped off 4 apiece in Paris. Plus, in the final hour, Adam Calvin, our NFL insider, on his continuing journey around the NFL camps. It's summer camp trip time for your boy Kaplan. All today, Carver High. Now, can we go through the litany of winners that you had? Like, there were so many, I couldn't repost all of the tweets. I lost track of the many cash tickets on Taters and golf and another win in Live. They should hire you at Live. Because you know the golfers so well, what time they sleep, eat, have sex, and when they win. You can predict winners from afar all the way back here in America when they were playing somewhere near Manchester, I believe. What is going on with all these tickets you've cashed?
We had a very big weekend. Happy birthday to you, of course. It was mine yesterday, yours today. The coast-to-coast doubleheader birthdays here on a Monday towards the end of July. We had a big weekend. Friday night was probably, I'd say, if not the best, one of the best lion's share tater nights we ever had between Santander, Salvi, Reese Hoskins, Rooker, win. They all just kept flying in. We had a big weekend with the golf. John Rahm, my 4th straight win on Live. That's pretty good. Ortiz in Houston, Hatton in Nashville, Sergio in Spain, and Rahm in the UK this past weekend. Keith Stewart had Johnny Vegas roll the dice at 80-1. Johnny Vegas roll the dice 80-1 at the 3M in Minnesota yesterday.
The birdie
had a really
on 18.
good weekend.
Did
really
you see
good
that?
Weekend.
He played that 18th clean with the birdie to win. Your boy Johnny
birdie
Vegas.
to win. All he needed was a bird on that par 5. He made that lag putt he made, that 90-footer, his 3rd shot to get himself to within 3 feet. That was a great putt by him, and he ends up winning. First time since 2017 that
Which
Johnny
one do you
Vegas
think's cooler, Johnny Hockey or Johnny Vegas?
Johnny Vegas.
I think it's Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas is a better name. Hands down, no doubt about it. I will not dispute any of that. All right, we have lots to do today. It's a new week. It's a Monday on Coast to Coast, and we have a lot going on. In fact, the Olympics are in full swing, by the way. We left here on Friday. They were starting. There's been a lot that's gone on. We've got plenty of basketball. The women just tipped against Japan moments ago, Scotty, and I saw this get to right before tip a cool 23.5. I know it was 21.5 this morning. I saw a cool 23.5 right before they tipped the ball and a 161.5. They should have no problems this afternoon. Of course, 9 o'clock at night over there in Paris, finishing off Japan.
They're swatting shots already, fast breaks with numbers, layups left and right. It's already 10-4 and 10-4, baby. Roger Vector, Romeo Papa, Whiskey, Velveeta slices. It could be a 30 to 40 point blowout. We'll see if Japan can hang. Their point guard looks like she's 4 foot tall. She's already had a shot swatted into the stands. It doesn't take long. Remember what I say to you all the time, Carver. Never put up the little man against Ferrall. If he's under 6'2", he's in trouble. I'm playing tonight, by the way, in the sauna.
I just gonna say, you're balling tonight.
In the sauna. And 34C said to me, try not to die at the sauna.
Yeah.
She thinks I shouldn't play in there. It's too hot.
I would say that's considering what you just talked about at the top and being thankful that you've made it here to this birthday after last November. I'd probably have to agree with her a little bit in terms of, but you know, it's your life and you have to make the choices.
Listen, I'm like Tatum. You know, they may have to give me limited minutes tonight.
Well, I mean, geez, I mean, that was more, I guess that was a bigger story than the U.S. team winning was that Tatum didn't play.
Could you believe it?
Against Serbia. I like him afterwards too, you know. Yeah, you know, we just had too many guys. You really can't play more than 10 guys in a 40-minute game. All right, there you go. That'll cause a lot of problems.
I told you Friday that if my man is cleared, he's going to play, and he is not afraid to take that shot that everyone else appears to be afraid to take besides the king. You know, the grim Slim Reaper can knock down from anywhere, and you saw what he did on Sunday. Hit his first 8 shots, 5 of 5 from downtown. He is a dagger waiting to happen.
He certainly is. So we have that as well. Baseball, we have lots of games tonight. How about a doubleheader in Baltimore today between the Blue Jays and the Orioles? In fact, they just started. I have it on in front of me. More interesting to me because I have some taters instead of the basketball. Yariel Rodriguez goes for Toronto, and Zach Eflin, who the Orioles just got from Tampa over the weekend, makes his first Baltimore start. They're in the top of the first, scoreless here. I saw a big fat total of 9. Of course, they're going to have a second game later that we'll talk about as well.
Yeah, I bet on the Orioles in Game 1, and I think they've been struggling miserably. They had a huge win on Sunday stopping the Padres' 7-game winning streak. They needed that. The Orioles have not been playing good baseball at all for about 3 weeks.
No, they have not. I do have a couple guys to homer here today, whether it be Vlad for the Jays and Colton Cowser for Baltimore. So we'll see if we can get some afternoon tater action cooking for us here. We'll go through everything from the weekend. We already mentioned KD with the 21, the U.S. men take care of business. All the baseball from the weekend, including the Yankees, Scotty, 2 out of 3 in Boston. The comeback on Saturday night, and then they get the win last night, and they got Jazz Chisholm on Saturday. He made his debut last night. Trade deadline is tomorrow, so lots of things happening there.
Did you see him?
Yes.
You know, he beat out the single, then he stole third, and then he scored late. So a big debut for our boy Jazz. Speaking of which, Glaber Day doesn't like the thought of him playing second or third. So Glaber, here's the deal, bro. It doesn't matter what you think.
Right. And you notice the difference in guys. Jazz yesterday did the whole, I'm on the Yankees, man. Center, second, third. I don't play them out. I'll play wherever you want. Meanwhile, Glaber, I don't really want to play third. I would send him, if they could find a way to get rid of him by tomorrow afternoon, I'd be all for it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd be all for it because he's a free agent at the end of the year, and I don't need him.
I won't be surprised at all that they trade him by tomorrow.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Media have already said that they are going to be horrible. The books have them, as we'll see in a moment, at a win total of 5.5. Sean Payton, though, Scotty, he does not listen to preseason prognosticators.
That's your future, and it's on you. Like, they selected him. They wanted him. That's what they got. And now he has to build that from scratch.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees are desperate. I mean, they can fire hitting coaches and everything else, but it's not working. So I don't know if Cashman really would do that. They seem to be so, tight-knit, but something's got to happen.
A big award or a big prize in the trade deadline sweepstakes would be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? Vladdy, put him in the middle of the lineup.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
BetMGM is swinging for the fences. The best place to bet the long ball all season long. Out-of-the-park odds on home runs. Exclusive signature bets. And a weekly shot at your share of $50K in bonus bets. Enter the $50K Grand Slam jackpot. It's on.
catch Sports Rage every night, weeknights at 10, along all of our outlets on TV stations, streaming networks, radio stations like Sports Byline USA, all their affiliates, DPAC holding the down for us in the city, by the bay. Of course, Mighty Year 1090, ESPN Radio in San Diego, from Baja to the Canadian Rockies, all over the West Coast on the big stick. And then on satellite radio, Sirius XM channel 159. Check it out. Weeknights, 10. Like I said, we get the luxury of having Gabe on Coast to Coast every day for a double shot in the afternoon from Vancouver. I would agree with you. Fans don't know what we were talking about, but it was the violence of water polo. I watched this morning. I think, I was watching that Spain beat the U.S. I think they beat them. I watched like the entire game until like late in the fourth, and I had something to do, so I didn't see the very end, but Spain was winning. And all I know is I don't care who wins. It's violent.
Oh, it really is. It's one of those sports, Scott, that I've become a massive fan of. I've really enjoyed the women's swimming as well.
Yeah.
But water polo, same thing, Scott. I actually missed. There was a big race. Summer McIntosh, 17-year-old phenom. She just won a gold medal for Canada. And I missed the race because I was enthralled by the water polo. And the last Olympics was the first time that I really watched full game, started betting on it, sort of starting to get the rules a little bit. Yet it's like hockey or rugby in a pool, guys. Like, it might be the most physical, like besides boxing, Scott, I think it's the most contact physical sport, bro, in the Olympics. Like, you should see, like, they go for rebounds. They put their hand on the shoulder, try to like push you under the water. Yeah. Under the water. Dude, I don't know how they get away with this stuff. Like Bruce Lee kicks, Scott. Like, they're kicking their legs, kicking each other in the stomach, like elbows under the water. Like, it's like boom, boom, boom. Total contact. Ruthless as far as physical conditioning.
Brutal.
You're not standing. It's in a pool. It's like basketball. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Absolutely insane. Really enjoy the men's and the women's, both it. It's really, really fun to watch this sport. And I've been betting on everything, Scott. We cashed a ticket. It's pretty cool. I put a lot of work into this last week, as I told you.
Right.
And I hit the women's 57-kilogram women's judo gold medal bet. I bet one judo bet. I picked Krista Deguchi to win the gold medal, and she won today. Minus 140. Wasn't a great price, but I was right. Cashed the ticket. She's Canadian.
Canadian. So they got the gold. They got the gold from her and the gold swimming. 2
golds today. Pretty good. Like, pretty serious stuff. Yeah, Canada won 2 gold medals today, guys.
Did you watch the guy from England win the mountain biking with the late pass? And when he went by the guy, he gave him the business and like hit his bike with his tire and said, "See you, your mother's a hoe," and rode to the goal. The guy, the best in the world, he gave her "your mama's a hoe," and just jimmied right by him. And the guy's like, "Hey!" And then he lost. He got the silver.
Most of the Olympics, I was talking about this, like when the Olympics is normally like the feel good. Remember the old Coca-Cola? I like to teach the world to sing. We sit down, have a Coca-Cola with a white polar bear and watch the Olympics.
Right.
You notice now it's edgy, like fans storming the field, booing people.
Yeah.
Like it's like this ultimate sports pro competition going on in Paris. It doesn't even feel like the Olympics. And like you said, everyone's got that sort of, like I thought Hungary and Canada were going to come to blows in the pool right now. It's like the opening day of water polo women's, and it was like fisticuffs, bro. It was seriously intense.
When I watched it, like I said to you, like this morning, I was surprised more that someone didn't get cold-cocked in the pool than like someone scoring or someone winning. Like there is so much violence in that pool. I thought the same
thing too. I was like, man, I think there's going to be a fight. That's what I was thinking.
I've been in 30 fist fights playing basketball with some dude that like, hammers me or cheap shots me, and all it takes is one. These chicks are getting hit like 25 times in the face and getting kicked, and I can't believe someone just doesn't come right out with it, haymaker to the side of the skull. Like, I can't believe I haven't seen a fight in the pool yet, because they get really mad. Like, and the men, it's even worse. One thing I want to ask you about the swimming. Have you ever seen anything like these chicks, honestly, when they get out of the pool and how big they are in their shoulders and muscles, upper body? Like, they look like weightlifters.
Bro, the Titmus girl on Australia, Scott, I swear to God, she has an invisible jet turbo pack on her back. We just don't see it. No, dude, like, she took off. Everyone's going. It's like a video game. Someone just hit like turbo, and it's like, dude, she's like a submarine. Like, she's not even swimming, Scott. It's like she's a missile, like seriously, like an underwater missile, and it just goes. And I'm like, oh my God. And like you said, bro, the Hungarian girls, Scott, I was thinking about it. I was going to tweet out, I was like, it's going to come across one. Bro, they were built like defensive linemen, Scott. Like, the girl got out of the pool. Her thighs and her legs were like trees, Scott. Yeah. I was like, dear man, this girl's like an effing linebacker in the NFL. Like, this girl will, like, knock you over. Like,
I went to Budapest, right? And I tried to get laid. Are we on the air? I tried to get laid at a casino one night at like 2 in the morning from a Hungarian chick. Are we on? Don't talk about Hungarian. Okay. They're saying that I need to stop talking about my travels. Yeah. So I want to ask you this question. For when we come back, it'll take more than 30 seconds. So I had someone say to me yesterday, I had a little party going over here. And I had someone say to me, oh, man, Los Angeles is going to be a mess in 28. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, you know, the World Cup and the Olympics in the same breath. In 2 years, the World Cup, and then in 4 years, the Olympics in America. Can you imagine how crazy it's going to be? I said to this dude, I go, what do you mean? I think Paris is great. I think the Olympics are great. I can't wait till it's in Los Angeles. I can't wait till the World Cup's here. So when we get back, we'll ask Morency what he thinks it's going to be like with both events in North America, obviously, and in America for the Olympics.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at sixscore.com.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on
my 59th birthday today, Morency just told me for my birthday present he's going to make a D-Gen bet for me on the Canadian soccer chicks to not only make the knockout round, he's going to place a D-Gen bet for me that they will win a knockout round game in the Olympics. He's going to place that bet for me right now, C note. And My question to you is this. I got to be honest with you. I thought yesterday the USA 4-1 win over Germany, watching that front line of Smith, Swanson, and Rodman, it was like unbelievably fun to watch those three chicks play soccer. They won that game 4-1 over the fourth-ranked team in the world. Germany kicked their ass. So my question to you is, going back to what I said before, do you believe in 26, the World Cup in North America, Mexico, U.S., and Canada, will be a disaster? Because people said, they couldn't even handle Miami, the one game. And then he said, this guy to me, he goes, the Los Angeles Olympics are going to be terrible. I went to the Los Angeles Olympics in '84. I thought it was awesome. And I think it's going to be awesome again. He's like, who needs all the crowds? I'm like, bro, you live in New Jersey. Shut the F up. Like, what do you care about what's going on in Los Angeles? There's just too many people. I'm like, have another beer. Shut up.
You and I were there for the Super Bowl. We've been there for major events over the years. LA will be able to absorb the Olympics without people even noticing for the most part. Like, let's just be real. And from, overall, from the World Cup and the Olympics, not to get technical, but it's actually a good thing for them. They're able to set up the security kind of once, Scott. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, one size fits all. All right. So there is going to be a lot of, there's going to be a lot of security, obviously, but LA is going to be able to handle the Olympics. There's a lot of pressure on them, Scott. That opening ceremonies was lit, man, in Paris. They're going to have to step up. They got a beautiful backdrop with SoFi Stadium. You got the water outside. They're going to be able to come up with some things, but it's going to be tough to top Paris. But where you and I were at the convention center, I just saw, Scott, they're dropping like, $4 billion or something into it. They're expanding the downtown convention center where Media Row was. So we're going to be in a nice new Media Row in a couple of years when we're back there for the Super Bowl. And there's going to be events there, bro. Like fencing, and there's a couple of events at the convention center, the Staples Center. Thing about LA, it's so spread out. There's going to be different hubs, man. There's going to be events at the, at the LA Coliseum. There's going to be events at SoFi. There's going to be events in Carson. There's going to be events spread out all over the place. I imagine a beach volleyball, Scott, probably going to be in Santa Monica, Venice Beach type of deal. Right. You know what I mean? So you're going to be able to pick, I'm going to hang out in this area. There's always traffic in LA, so don't worry about that. What's the difference? And it's a couple of extra 100,000 people. One thing I noticed about Paris, they've shut it down too much. They've gone too far. And listen, it is what it is. But you'll notice whenever they go to like street shots and stuff, the streets are empty. Because basically, unless you have a ticket to get into an event, they're not letting you in the perimeter. There's like a perimeter. They close the city type of deal. Right. Due to, and there are heavy, heavy terrorist threats there. Let's just be real. I mean, there are people trying to bring these games down. But I think LA will be a little bit more free-flowing, Scott. I really look forward to the LA games. And I'm going to go, like we're just talking about. How cool would it be, bro? Imagine going to, like, the UCLA pool, bro, at a water polo. Yeah. We'll blaze a few, have a few drinks, go to see some water. Because that's the whole thing. Gold medal basketball, bro, the ticket's going to be like $100,000 and stuff. But we'll go to, like, water polo and handball and go to some boxing and stuff, man. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, I did it. I've done it a few times, 4 times I've been. It's a trip. I think it's awesome. And I got to be honest.
Meet people from all over the world, too, which is cool. Eh? You know what I mean? You're great in a bar. Hey, where are you from? I'm from the Netherlands. I'm from Germany. It's really cool.
It's a great experience. And, I've found, I've been watching a lot of it. I've been watching like all day type stuff on Sunday. And then, this morning I got up and
I know we're done. NBC, I've ripped them before, and they did get mocked for the Kelly Clarkson, Peyton Manning stuff earlier. But all kidding aside, other than that, they've done a great job. They've clearly taken it to heart. Number one, about tape delay stuff. There's a lot of live stuff on NBC. They're not just showing Americans, which they normally don't care about the rest of the world at all. They're like, no, this is a big game. This is a big event. We're going to show you this, right? Like, they're cutting in and out. But I'm just going to say, after 4 days or whatnot, I think NBC's doing a great job.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's been fabulous. And I would imagine it's only going to get better over the coming days. They've taken it to a new level. Paris is great. The weather seems to have changed, and the events are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Great stuff. We'll see you tonight on SportsGrid.
Happy birthday, Scott.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC's 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the tower. Who's the king of violence?
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, back on Coast to Coast. Mike DeCourcy's with the Sporting News. You can catch him on Fox Sports, Big Ten Network. He's everywhere. He's also on Coast to Coast every week. Mike, good to see you. I want to start with, and I had mentioned earlier on the show, watching Swanson, Smith, and Rodman yesterday was one of the coolest things I've seen yet in the Olympics. And I'm not being homerized with the USA. They just flat out kicked Germany's ass. And those three were on their game. Like, you know, they had struggled, this team, for well over a year, not doing anything, not winning anything. And everybody thought that they looked terrible. And then they got this good coach. And no one expected them to do anything in these Olympics. And Germany's one of the best teams in the world. And they throttled them. Smith had a pair of goals. I watched. They had it all going yesterday.
I will confess, Scott, to writing in advance of the Olympics, to asking Emma Hayes, the new coach, about that three-player setup. I've always admired Trinity Rodman's talent since I covered the NWSL Championship. I believe it was 2021 down in Louisville, and I was dazzled by her talent. But she was becoming one of those players who was just almost good. Like a lot of close misses. It happened at the World Cup last summer, and it was happening in pre-tournament friendlies. And I was beginning to wonder if she was going to become one of those players that was too much of an almost player. And I wrote about that. And of course, I've always respected Sophia Smith and Mallory Swanson. But we're seeing right now what Emma Hayes saw in her imagination, what they could be. Rodman has just been spectacular. She has now gotten full command of her talent and has realized that there aren't any left backs out there, or if there are, they're hiding them pretty well, who can stay with her. She is just absolutely roasting left back after left back, and she's getting into dangerous areas, and she's putting dangerous balls in. You know, maybe the perfect goal of the four that they scored, that the team scored in the 4-1 victory over Germany, was the one that was the first from Sophia Smith, when Rodman comes down and makes the perfect cross off a 1-2 play that set her up with Rose Lavelle. And then she makes a cross. And what happens is Mallory Swanson makes a quick run to the near post, and that sucks the entire defense in and causes Sophia Smith to be open on the far post, and she just knocks it in the goal. That's what they can be, and that's what Emma Hayes has been teaching them. She's only had a month and a half, now 2 months, I guess, to get this right, but she's getting it right.
So tell me more about Emma Hayes. I know she's foreign, and I know she's a great coach. I didn't get the whole backdrop on where she coaches. And I know she's not from the States.
What's interesting about Emma Hayes is she's not from the States, but she basically became a coach here. She came over to the United States, worked in the NWSL, worked in American college soccer, NCAA soccer, and that's where she got her real start as a coach. And then she returned to England, and she began coaching what was almost a startup program with Chelsea FC. And remember, at that period, when she became Chelsea FC's women's coach, they were one of the powerful teams and richest teams in England and in the world. And they weren't doing much at all with their women's program. Arsenal was the team at the time. But she built Chelsea up into the heavyweight of what they call the Women's Super League in England. They never quite broke all the way through to the Champions League title in Europe, but they dominated the Women's Super League. And when this job became open last summer, she was one of the first people that American soccer experts were excited about, and maybe fits better than anybody could have, other than if there were an American coach at her level, because this is where she grew her game. And so she connected right away with the various teams and players and enterprises that are involved in making U.S. women's national team soccer great.
When they were doing the game yesterday, I remember them talking about be careful what you wish for in the knockout stage, because America would play a really good team. Whereas, they were talking about if they would finish second in the group, they'd have an easier track to make it to the, semis and final than if they win the group and have to play one of these great teams. And I thought to myself, well, I don't know who that is, because they just beat Germany. Who are they supposed to be afraid of after when they get to they're already in the knockout?
Yeah, I believe, Scott, that's involved with the possibility that Canada, although one of the best teams in the country and the reigning gold medalist, would have a difficult time qualifying as group champion or group runner-up out of their group, because they were involved in a scouting scandal. Somewhat similar to what we saw with Michigan football last year, but maybe even more so with flying drones over closed practices of opposing teams, allegedly. And FIFA just docked the team 6 points, which is basically the equivalent of 2 losses in the Olympics. So I think it's involved with that. Looking at possibly Japan or Brazil. Germany's ranked 4th in the world. Japan's a very good team. The U.S. has beaten them before, even maybe not at the U.S.'s peak or at the level they're playing now. Certainly, Brazil has always been a terrifically talented team, but this is not the Brazil of Marta that we knew back in 2008, 2011. It's still a terrific team. I don't think the U.S. has to fear anybody in the quarterfinals. You have to play your best, certainly, the kind of soccer that they've played for these first 2 games. And if they do, I think that they'll be able to advance at least until they'd be playing for the opportunity to medal.
What did you think of Kerr sitting Tatum in that game against Serbia?
I think it makes perfect sense. And I was surprised, honestly, that Steve tried to apologize for it, because he hasn't apologized for benching Tyrese Halliburton, who actually makes more sense in this rotation right now that Kevin Durant is back, than Jason Tatum, who I love as a player. And you and I talked about it back during the NBA, Scott. I wrote about how that Jason deserves more respect as one of the great players in the NBA. Didn't get enough. Maybe he'll get it now that he's won a title. But in this rotation, with the players that they have, as long as they're going to play bigs like Embiid and Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo, and play with guards shooting, great shooting guards like Steph Curry and like Kevin Durant, even though they're not really similar physically, they have that great shooting ability. And then you have the defense first guards, Drew Holiday and Derek White. Where does Tatum fit in? He doesn't. Jason Tatum was a hero of the 2020 Olympic Championship, the gold medal that they won in 21 after the pandemic, with Kevin Durant being the hero for agreeing to play. But then they needed someone else, and Jason Tatum stepped forward. They needed him. That's the difference, Scott. They don't need Jason Tatum, so they're not going to run stuff for him. And if you don't run stuff for Jason Tatum, what does he do? He's a good shooter, not a great shooter. He's a very good defender, but he's not a lockdown guy. And why would he be out there unless there's a wing out there that's going that's going off and they don't have another guy that they see that can shut that player down? Right now, I don't see a reason to put him in the game. As long as Durant is healthy, I'm not sure where Jason Tatum fits in.
I got 20 seconds. What'd you think of Durant's shooting performance?
Oh, my gosh. I was falling off my god. I've never seen anything like that. Not playing basically since May. And then he comes out and he makes his first 8 shots, and 5 of them are threes, and he hits that ball away at the buzzer. It was inhuman. It was superhuman. Inhuman sounds bad. Superhuman.
That was my favorite shot, the fall away from the elbow. That was beautiful. Great stuff today, Mike. Enjoy the rest of the week in the Olympics. It's been fabulous. Good to see you, my friend.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the turn. Right hand from my boy, double check. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Carver High just got earlier I got a Facebook message from your mom. She's the best. Liz, with the happy birthday to Uncle Futrelli. I love your mom. She's awesome. Oh, look at that. Are you serious? Anyway, your mom had that great shot of you yesterday in the Irish green Lucky Charms blazer, broadcasting live from some huge event on SportsGrid. She knows how to work the Facebook. Your mom, she's a pro. Tell her thank you from me. I already thanked her, but tell her she's the best.
I will do that. Not a problem whatsoever. In fact, that shot, I believe, when was the last time I was out? I guess it was at the draft a couple of years ago. So that was at BetMGM, which you should tell everybody about their first bet offer for $1,500. Since we're involved with that, I mean, just get involved there.
It is true. It really is. It's more important, clearly, than our birthdays. The 4 easy steps to getting $1,500 in bonus bets into your account. First, you got to download the BetMGM app on iOS or Android, or go to BetMGM.com. 2, you got to sign up. You got to have an account. Put $10 in, boom, you're off and running. 3, place your first wager up to $1,500. And if the bet loses, they're putting $1,500 in bonus bets back into your account after that wager is settled. So 4, once the initial wager is done and settled and you've lost the bet, let's say hypothetically, they're putting the money into your account. So it's like a free bet up to $1,500. And honestly, no matter what Carver High and I got on our birthdays in terms of gifts, nothing could be better than a $1,500 bonus bet from BetMGM.
Everybody loves that. There's no question about it. A couple of things here going on live. Number 1, Orioles have already built a 4-0 lead on the Blue Jays, and they're still hitting in the bottom of the first inning. James McCann got hit in the face with a pitch, Scotty, from Yasiel Rodriguez, and he has been down for a while. They finally got him up. Now they're trying to get the blood to stop pouring out of his nose. He wants to stay in the game, and it looks like he might. He's trotting back out to first base because that's where he is. I believe the Blue Jays are now changing pitchers and getting a new pitcher in there because Rodriguez was an absolute disaster. So 4-0 Orioles lead. In Paris, 50-39, the women lead Japan in basketball. That is at the half now, 50-39, 11-point lead. They're, of course, laying anywhere from 21.5 to 23.5, depending on when you got it. It is 23.5
You think they cover?
as we speak live. Yeah, I think they'll cover. I think that they'll lean on them in the second half, and that will be all she wrote. They'll finish them off. That's a 25.
I don't think they'll cover 23 and a hook. I think they might if you had them at 21 and a hook, because 11.5, do the math. It's probably the same kind of half, the second half, and even they wear them down a little bit with their size. I think that's the one thing that I noticed. The biggest differential on the court is size. They're getting anything they want inside. I mean, absolutely anything. Layups, all alone, uncontested. They're passing for layups. They're cutting for layups. They're just too big for this team. But I would think that they would wear them down in the second half and at least match the first half. So it's going to be close. I bet it lands at 22 or 23. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go over 23.
Wouldn't be surprised either. Of course, Gabe was mentioning before that Jess Pegula is in action this afternoon against Svitolova from Ukraine, and I saw that she's even in the first set. And I'm not going to lie to you, Scotty. I'm in the mix, I told you the other day, with this Cloth and Nuss, the women's beach volleyball team for the United States. And they are, I guess, the late night game over there in Paris as they're taking on the girls from Australia, and they're minus 275 favorites. I'm involved with them to win the gold medal, so I'd like a nice start from Cloth and Nuss coming up here in a few minutes on the beach. So that's what we have cooking for you right now. Yankees, let's get some baseball from yesterday for you. Yankees beat the Red Sox 8-2. They end up taking 2 out of 3 in Boston against the Sox after a miserable Friday night. Had to come back on Saturday night, and then last night, Rodon pitched well, aside from obviously those 2 homers he gave up, those back-to-back shots. Rodon with his second really good performance in a row. Gleyber Torres got the Yankees started, though, Scotty, in the first inning, building that 3-0 lead on ESPN.
Prior to the first inning, Gleyber was the only Yankee who had an extra base hit that was in the lineup against him. And he rockets one into right center. That brings Judge in. Wells rounds, and the throw is cut off, and now they have Gleyber in a rundown. He will be tagged out. He does deliver 2 RBIs. Both Judge and Wells come in, and they do get the crooked number. The Yankees in the first score 3.
Yeah, I mean, I've had about enough of him complaining, though, to be honest with you. Like, you know what? He doesn't matter. Like, this guy has fallen off so badly and I know he hit a home run at Fenway this weekend. That's great. But all I know is it just makes him look bad. Like, he's got some new teammate, and he's like, I don't want to move. Don't be moving me, all this other stuff. And you just haven't hit. Like, this guy hasn't done anything to have that kind of juice. And I think it kind of Made him look bad.
I think it made him look real bad, honestly, last night. I thought that was a poor look by him, especially with how he's been playing. When he gets asked if he would consider moving over to third, he hasn't been good enough to be able to dictate the terms with the Yankees, Scotty. That is for sure. We will come back because the clip's probably just going to be a little bit longer, but I do have Jazz Chisholm for you, who on the other side of the spectrum brings not only some fun play out in the field, but a very big personality, a fun personality that's now going to be in that Yankee clubhouse.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who is that?
Mickey Rivers.
I saw that on somebody else making that comparison earlier today. It might have been our old buddy Kevin Kernan, I think, of course, from back in the day at the New York Post. I saw him tweeting about that this morning and made a similar comparison. He's got a lot of personality, and he's fun to watch. And I don't know why they hit him fifth. I personally would have hit him leadoff, but that's the Yankee charts and graphs.
That'll change. That's going to change real soon.
An incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Seriously, Carver High, I think McGregor's much better at selling things from liquor to bare knuckle fighting than he is fighting. He never fights. He just never is in the octagon. He's missed everything. Like when is the last time that guy fought? Like a couple of years ago? Like I'm done with it. Like he's so much better at being a personality and selling fights and selling booze and bare knuckle. Like you see him there. He's entertaining on our bare knuckle coverage, and he shows up at all these things. I think he owns a piece of it now. But him fighting is like, I mean, the guy had a broken pinky toe, and he called off a fight with Chandler. People calling him all kinds of names and everything. Like who misses a fight with a pinky broken? I broke toes and played basketball same night.
I actually think that all he does now by actually fighting himself is hurting his value. I think that he has so much juice now, he never has to step in a ring again. he never has to hurt whatever legacy he has inside of any type of octagon ring, anywhere. He's made his money fighting. He's made money in business now. I think it's great. That's what he should be doing, is selling fights now. And being
it was the
a front
Poirier
man,
fight that he broke his leg.
Right, and that was the last time he fought, which was eons ago. And now he's fighting Chandler. What are they going to do that in December or something like that? They're going to try that again.
I'd
We'll
be very
see.
careful around that guy.
Like, he was in the Roadhouse movie. Like, he should be doing that stuff now. That's like his lane. Like, he was good. I thought he was very good now.
I thought he was good in that.
Like, that's what he should be doing.
Guy.
Is doing that stuff. Here's Jazz, who's very excited to be. Hey, I mean, you're moving from the Marlins to the Yankees.
I'm excited.
You're going to be happy. Here's Jazz.
How exciting was it to put on the Yankee uniform for the first time tonight?
Nah, it was super exciting. I mean, every kid dreams of being a Yankee. It's the most famous team in baseball that Derek Jeter played on, you know what I mean? So everybody's favorite player was Derek Jeter growing up. I had him as an owner, so I just feel like it was only right to come on and put on the uniform. My reaction when I found out I was being traded here, it was great. I mean, I found out that I was going to go to a contending team, a team that was in first place, fighting for a playoff spot, and I mean, I'm excited to play in October for the Yankees.
I mean, honest to Christ, who wouldn't be? I mean, like, I love his attitude. Instead, we got this guy, Torres, complaining about it. Like, how does that make you look? It makes you look like a terrible teammate. Like, you should be so lucky they got someone that's exciting, that does everything, that plays defense, that hits, that steals bases, that has a personality instead of your grim-ass Reaper. I'm not moving to third. Like, bro, you suck to begin with. Like, we're barely hanging on with you around. They should send you and LeMahieu to hell.
Like this isn't like, he isn't a guy. Like, remember how, like, when the Yankees won in 09 and then a little after that, like, you knew it was the end for Posada and Jeter, and there was like, the guys had built up so much credit and they had won so much that you really couldn't ask them to sit or move. Or like, it's like they deserve to make those decisions. This guy's done nothing for the Yankees to be able to sit there and go, I don't want to go play third base. I don't want to do what you're told. That's it. If you want you to take some balls at third and try it out, fine. If you're a complete hack there, they won't play you there. I mean, I guess that's what the one side of it.
How about you sit and become a pinch hitter?
Look, I thought it looked bad for him last night. That's all that I'll say. And I'm sure, and you obviously agree with me. They are expected to get Stanton back tonight in Philly as he's going to come off the IL. So
don't let
you
him
think
run.
about you think about the last 3 days, from when they got into Boston on Friday. You talk about adding Stanton and Jazz into that lineup with Judge and Soto, and Wells has been better. And like you said before, Verdugo's been better. Suddenly the lineup gets a little more formidable when you add Stanton and Jazz in there.
And if Rodon pitches the way he has the last two outings, that was the guy that they went and got. That was the guy they wanted. The guy that is throwing that change and watching that noodle drop off the table. I mean, it was almost unhittable the last two games. He has been striking guys out left and right and going deep into games. If they get that going, because remember, they were 50 and 23, and it was because their pitching was the best in the majors. Then they went 12 and 30, whatever it was, and their pitching was terrible. It was the worst in baseball. So figure out your pitching, inject into that lineup those two bats, get the other bats like Wells and Verdugo going with what already works, Soto and Judge, which is a party every time they come to the plate. And the Yankees will start winning in August and September going into October.